Good morning and welcome to Morning Pulse, the pulse of Nigerian politics. My name is Sharon Chuku. Joining me in the studio today is my political analyst in person of Mr. Daniel Sacramento. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Good morning. How's everything?
Everything is fine. We thank God. Just Nigeria. Well, you look good.
Thank you.
You should give us one of your barrett caps. It's really nice.
You have to be inducted into the Comrade War.
Whatever that takes. All right. Now we have two major headlines for today. First, we are starting with Remi Tinubu's 20 billion naira legacy library. For context, the library is named after Senator Remi Tinubu, intended as a public legacy project dating back to around 2003 during her time as Lagos First Lady. She now seeks private donations to complete it. The project, however, drew scrutiny due to the massive cost at a time of economic hardship. And just to add to that, when she came out to make this donation public, people like Mr. Peter Obi came out to scrutinize this, saying that such a monumental feat that is supposed to be funded by the nation has now become a birthday wish, and all of that controversy surrounding this particular National Library. But let's take it back to 2003, where this all began, Mr. Daniel Sacramento. Now, do you think that, apart from the speculations, people are saying that the 20 billion naira she has been able to raise is for her husband's re-election in 2027 in order to add to his campaign funds and all of that. Apart from that, let's take it back to 2003 when this project started. Do you think that this is the First Lady's way of just writing her name in the hearts of Nigerians, or is this a genuine project in order to contribute to education?
Okay, the Oluremi Tinubu senator, she is a passionate person that believes in, the kind of project we are talking about.
Yeah.
So I don't have issues with her doing a library thing because everybody has his or her own pet project that is he or she wants to embark on.
Yeah.
Remember, she is the initiator of Renewed Hope Initiative.
Yes.
Where she has been, going around touching people's life. I remember some people in Anambra State in December, where she was able to give some of money, about 200,000 naira to elderly persons individually. Wow. About 100 of them, because I was the master of ceremony in the event. Yes, so she has been using her renewed hope. So this part of her pet project, which I believe it's her thing, since the library has started since 2003. So it shows it's something she's passionate all about. And since 2003, remember, the husband was a governor.
Yes.
So if basically it was something that they needed to use public fund to do, maybe it would have been completed as the husband was the governor of Lagos State. So maybe that is that. But come to think of it, I don't think it has to do with the political aspect of it. What is 20 billion naira to compare to what the husband is the president of Nigeria?
Yeah.
And remember, they just borrowed some money. Now
we are going to get to that in the next story.
So I just want you to realize. So everybody is entitled to their own opinion. The truth about it is that if somebody is passionate about something, he or she has the right to pursue it, And if we go to the scripture, it says, write down your vision, run with it. So it means there's going to be a time for you to pursue the vision. And it's going to be a time for the vision to come to fulfill.
All right.
And maybe that is what we are seeing now.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
But people have also said, why wasn't this money, or why wasn't the First Lady's attention on public universities that are already falling apart around the country, and now creating or building up a new library now, comparing, pushing funds into these public libraries that needs help. Do you think that this is money well spent?
Okay, yes. Like I said, you wouldn't beat a child and and tell the child how to cry. Why do I use that adage? The adage is in the sense that this is somebody's vision. She's not Minister of Education, neither is she the President of the nation, who is meant to fix the education aspect. Now, library she is building is part of education, because if you look at the level of education we have now in the country, you pity us. You find out that a lot of researches, students find it difficult to get the journals they need, irrespective that the phone is there to assist, Google is there to assist, but there are some works we need to get in the library. There are things we need to get there. You understand? The younger generation needs the library. When we were growing up, we were all in the library. The state used to have their library. You know, you go to the state library to fix or get some of the assignments that's been given to you until phone came on board, and a lot of us, you know, has deviated. Now, this is not something she started building today or just last year. This has been a project that has been in her heart. You understand? And she has been pursuing it. So, building public schools and all this, it's not her prerogative right. Do you understand? There are budgets in the budget, national budgets. We budget for schools, which should be used to fix up the education sector, to make our education sector very viable. So this is quite different from.
No, I understand, but you know, since 2003, after she left office, her husband left office, it was left unattended to. Now she is now the first lady, and she is going back to that project. Does it mean that when they leave power, who is going to maintain the library?
President Olusegun Obasanjo has left power. He has his library in Ogun State. You remember? Yeah. The Olusegun library is there. And he takes his thing. You know, what I'm telling you is that since 2003, she didn't just fold her arms. She has been in the project. Maybe 1 year, 1 block, or 2 years.
But it has been left unattended. So that's what people
she has been building. She has been building.
But it was paused for a while.
But it's her vision.
Okay.
It's her thing. She's the visionaire. She intends to take charge of her thing whenever she thinks she is okay, right, to start it off. Do you understand? And remember, she didn't just the husband didn't just leave office. She was a 2-time senator. You understand this fact? And she has been on this project, looking for the right time. And finally, God has given her the right time, where people have now come to bring the expected fund that she will now use. So she has no reason now not to complete her project.
You know, I don't have a problem with the completion, Mr. Daniel. I have a problem with maintenance, because if you're being honest, it seems as though we have a maintenance problem here in Nigeria, and for an infrastructure like the National Library, that it's for the entire.
But this is not a national. We already have a national library.
Okay, I'm just asking, since it's not for her alone, it's for people, that is a community service sort of. Now, who is going to ensure that the maintenance is top tier?
But this is her thing. This is somebody's project. And a whooping sum of 20.7 billion was raised to fix this project. Under her name, not in Nigeria's name, in her name. So what it means is that she has everything to make this library function now, as it stands now.
Right.
So the required technologies and everything that the library needs to have, I think with this whooping sum of money, she'll be able to fix it up. Put up some research. I know it wouldn't be only just being a library. There might be some research kind of institute inside. Yeah. So until people understand that there is a time when you can have a vision, at a time you don't have the right funding. You keep pushing, trying till when the funding comes on board.
Okay.
and you pick it up from there.
All right, I like that. I'm getting clarity on that now. And just moving forward, I'm still, going to ask some questions. After this library is completed now, how can we as Nigerians be able to say, oh, this library is a success, or it is reaching the right people it is supposed to reach? Like, how can we be able to say this is how well this library is doing currently?
Well, I think first step first. Let's get the completion of the library and see how people could access the library.
Yeah.
She won't be the one that will be
managing
everything, or still be the one that will be studying there. It has to be open, since it has the name National, Oluremi Tinubu National Library. So this is her pet project, but she has given it out to the nation. It's going to be open for everybody who need one or two things to do to come into. Likewise, the way Olusegun Obasanjo's library is. So definitely until the library is fully completed. Remember, this the donation was made in her 65th birthday. So let's see what and how she intends the people to. So, but first we have to follow up till the completion of the library. Then we now know who and who are going to be beneficiaries of the library. Remember, her Renewed Hope initiative is still on, which she has been doing. This is her pet project, and this is something she has been, she has flair for. So let's see how it goes. Now,
one question before I ask the other. With her, there's no constitutional position or office for the First Lady. The seat is not constitutionally recognized. You just have the president. Now, do you think that there is a conflict of interest with her generating or seeking for funds while being the First Lady of Nigeria?
And there's no issue, there's no controversy about it. No, you just said it. She has no office. None that is constitutionally known. Office of the First Lady. You say it's not constitutional. Now, the fund was in her birthday. You could do your birthday and have a pet project. And you say that the reason that people that have gathered here today in honor of your birthday, please, the best gift you are going to give to me is because I want to build an orphanage home. And I have this vision of building an orphanage home. I want every gift to go towards the orphanage home. So it does happen. And people will say, okay, since you have this vision and this is what you're clamoring for, you don't care for cake, you don't need car, you don't need a new phone or wig or all these things. Okay, let's move towards that.
Your vision.
So people will now make cash donations. Some people will make material donations towards the building of that orphanage.
So you don't see any problem with her coming out to generate funds?
No. Since she is not constitutionally recognized, since she's not doing that on behalf of Nigerians, sitting with the husband to do, this is her birthday, and her 65 years birthday. So, and when she was 45, she did some stuff of that. She raised 50 million towards that project. Now, when she was 55, she raised almost close to 200 million towards the same project. And now she's 65.
And it's still not completed with all that money.
No, that's because the vision she has, is enormous. Building the level of national library she wants to build. That is why the Bible says, write down your vision. That it might tarry, but at the appointed time, it's going to speak. So she has that vision, and now the vision has come into reality. Seeing the level of fund that was raised in order to build that vision.
All right. No, I get you now. So at the end of the day, we can only hope and wait and see how this project is completed, it will be such a monumental feat for the First Lady of Nigeria in person of Oluremi Tinubu. Now, you said something, and we're going to use that as the bedrock for the next story. You mentioned when you were answering that this is not her, working for the president or trying to solicit funds for the president. Now, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, that is FIRS, claims a 411% increase in revenue collection. Despite this, the federal government continues to borrow heavily, deepening concerns about debt sustainability, fiscal responsibility, and economic planning. Now, my first question is, they have told us we have over 400% increase in revenue generated, and now the FIRS is coming to say that that is not stopping the federal government from going ahead to borrow. That in fact, even in our budgets, borrowing is there. It's clearly stated there that the revenue is on one side, but the federal government still has the legal right to go on borrowing. Now, with the way Nigerians are responding and with the way the federal government is seeing this entire borrowing, do you think that Nigeria will get to a point where they would sink the country in debt?
The country is already sunk in debt. Seriously. Now, when you look at this man Adedeji talking, you know that the man is lost.
Oh.
He's a lost human being because he can't come out. He's contradicting himself. Yes, I read all he said. It wasn't making sense. When a country run their life in borrowing, it shows the country has no vision. It shows the country has no mission. It shows that the administration, not even the country, administration in power has no vision, has no mission. The country is just doing trial and error. Now, you can't wake up and say that our internally generated revenue has a very massive increase of 411%. It shows that what we're telling us is that the economy of the country is stable.
Yes.
That's exactly what we're saying. Now, going about borrowing, you see, that's why I say he contradicted himself.
Yes.
You can't have such an IGR and still borrow massively more than the IGR you've generated. So it shows that the country is nowhere. It shows that the country in fact, the country is sinking in debt.
It is.
We are nowhere. So it shows that this administration is very, very clueless. That is the truth about it.
You said something about it being contradictory because he said we have over 411% increase in revenue. Now, if that is true, where is the revenue going to?
That is now you're borrowing for what? What are you now borrowing? When you have an increase of 411%, what it shows that there is no template to run the country. That's exactly what it is.
Yes.
This administration has no template to run the country. You just submerge yourself into borrowing. Let me tell us, all this massive borrowing you are seeing is just to prepare themselves for the next 2027. That's exactly what it's all about. Because if there is, we would have seen a lot of federal presence.
But we're not seeing that.
We've not seen that.
But do you think that could be as a result of lack of fiscal discipline? Maybe it
is not about this, it's about vision. You will first of all have a vision before you know how to discipline yourself. When you don't have any vision, like I told you, if I were these guys, you gather everybody, every heads. What are the challenges? Not the ministers you got on board. Go to the permanent secretaries. Bring them on board. What are the challenges that is facing this country mostly? You talk about infrastructure. How do we work about it? You look at the economy. There is high inflation. How do I bring down the inflation rate? These are the things you look at. You assemble economic planning team. And they sit down to discuss how they path a chart way.
Mr. Danny, you're saying this as though they have the will. What if they don't even have the will to even do that?
You will have the will if you have a vision. That is the truth. If you have a vision, you have the will. Do you understand?
I understand.
Now, there is no will. There is no vision. And the Bible says, my people die because they lack vision. So what we are saying here is lack of vision. It doesn't take anything when you're talking about infrastructure. You you look at what are the challenges of the people. Now, who are the bulk of the people that makes up this nation, Nigeria? You talk about the civil servants.
Yeah.
You talk about the importers. These are the people that generate the highest form. You talk about the producers. Mm-hmm. You look at them. What are their challenges? You summon them. What are their challenges? They tell you this and this. Getting money from CBN to source this and source this is the problem. Okay, how do we find a common ground? You look at it. You tackle it head on. People begins to see result. Importation becomes, as easy as. Now, if the producers in the country, you fund them. People begins to produce things that are being imported. You find out that the importation level now drops. And the production rate in the country rises. It means that there's going to be an internal, that the generation of a fund revenue becomes high. Now you have tackled one distance. You look at the civil servant, you look at the medical line. What are these problems? What are the problems we are passing through there? People begins to see that the federal government workers, you find out now that the high level of house rent, you begin to build low-cost housings for federal workers in all the 36 states. And it helps to cushion the effects of a high level of rent. Beautiful. So these are things, when you see an administration that has vision, somebody like this will not come out and be talking. Saying that borrowing. Do you know how much we are owing? Yeah, Mr. Daniel, I love the advice and the suggestion you have given, but in my opinion, this can only work in a country where there is no corruption. Because imagine the president now calls this roundtable discussion, finds out exactly what their pain point is, try to address it. What about the corrupt political office holders that will go to siphon funds? Don't you think that there should be a system in place in order to cushion
That's
this?
Exactly. Corruption is one side. Is a side attraction to what we are discussing.
Yeah.
Now, there is something we call direct order coming from the presidency. No matter how corrupt you are, you won't flaunt that orders. That is the truth.
Really?
No matter how corrupt you are, if a direct order is coming from the presidency, you are seeing a red pen. You have no option than to fall in line. That is how it works. The first thing we do is, if there is that marriage of gathering, now the biggest challenges we have in this country is that we have no production, we have no producers.
Yeah, we're a consuming nation.
We are a consuming nation. How do you tackle it? How do we end it?
Yes.
If we end that, the borrowing becomes less.
Because now we are now making our products and making money out of it.
Once you tackle it, now the problem is the will, that is where the will comes.
Yeah.
Of the presidency to give a direct order. Not to listen. That's why I say your ministers could only act on what people say. But when you invite these people, the owners, when you bring them on board, you talk to them one-on-one. You feel their pulse. You understand what they are talking about. And you give a direct order. And when you're coming for such meeting, take for instance, if you want to know why there is high level of importation and all this, and you want to pay producer. Now you know that when you're going there, the Minister of Finance must follow you. The CBN governor must be there.
Yes.
FIROS may be there.
Yes.
And maybe a few other, but these are the three key actors in the system. You come into the hall with them. Producers, what is the problem? And the CBN gives us dollar rate are very high and the interest rate is very, very massive. Okay, how do we come about it? How do we sort it out? They say it. Order CBN, I am giving a direct order here, now and now. Minister of Finance, take note. This thing must come down to so this thing, so that this thing will work. Immediately. you have tackled it.
But is that not what he tried to do with crashing food prices, where he gave an order that food prices should crash?
You cannot just go out to crash food prices when you have not put in things in check. There are crashing of food prices is the last resort. There are things you need to tackle.
I get that.
You need to find out the transportation aspect of bringing out food. The road that where food will come out from is just not fixed. Now, the insecurity, people going to the farm, you need to check all these things before you say crash food. Accessibility and availability of funds to make things work, fertilizers.
Yeah.
These are the things that you need to put in check. So until these things, you cannot crash food.
Okay.
Because if you're asking me that sells beans to crash my beans price, what of the man who sells rice? Do you understand? What is the availability? If I go out to buy fertilizer in a high rate, you are coming to tell me to crash my food price? No. This thing must synchronize together.
Yeah.
You must do all these things accessible, making the fuel being affordable to farmers. So
there must be structures that must be
structures that must be put in place before you arrive at crashing the food prices.
All right. Now, final question, Mr. Daniel. We have seen how our revenue fluctuates. 1 minute it's 20% increase, 30%. Now it's over 400% increase in 2025 now, and this is just between maybe 2 to 3 months. Now, in the next coming months, we don't know how it's going to look like. There's no predictability, there's no stability with our revenue increase. Do you also think that these suggestions that you've made would be able to affect or positively affect sustaining our revenue generation, or is there something else that you'd like to advise?
If the president don't have people he calls special advisors,
but
there are two things. Not just too much of broth spoils the soup. You can have too many people, and my mother will always say thousands but no one. So one of them just want, you see, until people becomes affectionate, have affection for the country. Majority of people you are seeing today are business merchants. They're just there to put money and say, "Namigo, come make Nigeria good." That is the ideology. Now, if they are sincere, we can put heads together and change the situation. Like I said here, every region has insecurity, but something is propelling that insecurity.
Yeah.
What do you need to do? You don't send people, go one-on-one. What the perspective you have when you are with people one-on-one is the best perspective you will have than when you send your aides to them.
From a third party.
It becomes an issue.
Yeah.
Now, this fluctuating thing, maybe the FIRS people just want to save their head. That is why today they are, if proper people goes to check them now, you find out that they are just blabbing.
Okay, even the 400% increase might not be correct.
I'm suspecting it. You see, I'm suspecting them.
Yeah.
It might just be a fiction. That's the truth. So the truth about it is that if President Tinubu wants to write his name on gold, there are things he needs to do. He should take this advice one-on-one. The only major thing we have here is oil.
Yes.
And that is why everybody is scrambling for, to get this oil. Now we can change and go back to agriculture with all level of sincerity. We need to soft pedal. We need to kill the insecurity, because that is the menace that is destroying the agricultural aspect.
Yeah.
So we need to find a way to settle it. You understand? In fact, they need to find a way to settle it. Let agriculture start in earnest. Distribution of fertilizers. People siphon fertilizers just to enrich themselves, and let the poor keep getting poorer, and let the rich keep getting richer. So if they bring people like us in, which I know it's not going to happen, and we're not even going to happen.
There's a possibility. Anything can happen.
What we're saying in the sense that we need people with integrity, people that are passionate, people that has affection to change our name from corrupt nation to a genuine nation, to a nation that has integrity.
Yes.
That is what is keeping us today. That are the things we need. So we need this change. Please, the administrations, the heads are the issues we have. Until they put in the right peg in the right hole. Otherwise, all these things we are saying here or we are doing, we are just, it's because they think we have time. But they say, Mukuna, they talk.
Mukuna does the waste on
time. So,
yeah.
In earnest, what we are saying is that the work we need to do is to move Nigeria from a consumer nation to a producing nation.
Period.
And what they need to do is, CBN is part of this problem. Majority of this problem, customs, the level of the everyday, the hike. Look at keke, common keke is almost 4 million naira.
Yeah.
Now, so it shows you, it shows you the level of control we're in.
Yes, thank you.
The shuttle bus is just about going to 5 million. So this is a terrible thing. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
If they bring in the likes of Innocent, bring in the likes of, empower them, give them what they want. Importation of the raw materials, it will make it cheap for them to. You will find out that all these things will crash the price. Then the importation people that are importing, will have a sigh of relief.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel Sacramento. We can only hope and pray that they are listening to these suggestions and advice, and the special advisors to these people, both to the president and to every high political office holder. They are actually advising on the right thing and giving right counsel. But thank you, Mr. Daniel Sacramento, for doing this with me today. What a wonderful conversation. So thank you very much. And also to our viewers, thank you for joining us as always. We see your comments, your likes, your shares, and we really appreciate. We're also encouraging that you keep doing so. If you're yet to comment, endeavor to do so right away. And also follow us across all social media at Active Citizens. You can find me on my personal page on Instagram and Facebook at Sharon Edemchuku. And for Mr. Daniel, he's always in the studio. So till we see you this afternoon for As E Day Hot, do have a hot morning.